Hello Peaches! So today's video is going to be another one about schizophrenia, mental health, panic attacks, those kind of things. And the reason why I'm making this video is because recently I made a video where I reacted to a schizophrenic simulator video, and on that video my friend made a suggestion that I would make this video where I explain what to do if your friend or family member or partner goes into like an episode, a psychotic, panic attack, anxiety kind of episode. And I thought that was a really great idea. So I decided to make this video explaining all about it. This is for, as I said, if your friend goes through this, or if your partner goes through this, or a family member, anyone that you know. And I have made sure that this is for both if you are with the person, or if you have a chance to visit that person, or if you're long distance. Because personally for me, like, all my friends live a little bit far away, and my boyfriend lives very far away. So that's why I decided to make it, because personally I have experienced having these kind of panic attacks things, I don't know what to call them, and then I've been texting my boyfriend, but he couldn't be there, but he's done some other things over text to help me. And just a little bit fact about me, I have paranoid schizophrenia. I have been having that for some years now. I don't remember how many, like 3 or 4 years I think. Well, I've been diagnosed with it for 3 or 4 years. I've been having problems before that. And now, as I am now, I'm in a very good place. I don't get that many episodes, panic attacks, whatever you call them, as I used to do, but I still sometimes experience them. And this video, I think it's mostly based on what to do if your schizophrenic person goes through this. But I guess some of these can also work if you have a friend who just has anxiety or panic attacks. But yeah, this is mainly for schizophrenic. I think there's 1 or 2 of these things that is just for schizophrenic people, but as I said, the rest you can also use for just panic attacks in general. So I think everyone who knows someone who has this, even though they're not like the bestest friends, I still think you should watch this video. I mean, you're here now, so why not watch the rest of it? Because it is very important to know what to do in those situations, because it can really make a difference that the person has someone around them that they feel like they can go to and get help from. And all of these things I'm sharing with you is things that personally works for me and that works for most people. I have gotten treatment for a long time. I got some different kind of treatment than a lot of people think you get. It's not something where I'm like, when I was 6 years old I didn't get the Barbie and Christmas present and that made me sad. You know, it's not that kind of therapy. The kind of therapy I got is more where you work with yourself and you get a very educational science kind of insight into what is actually going on in your brain, what happens. So all of these are based on the things that I know works, like scientifically kind of works for the mind, and what my psychiatrist and therapist and everyone has told me worked. I have not made up any of these myself. All of these are things that I have been told by professionals work because of science. So before explaining anything you can do, I just want to explain quickly that, you know, usually panic attacks, anxiety attacks, psychotic episodes, it is proven, like scientifically, that it only lasts for about 20 minutes. It also depends on what kind of psychotic episode or panic attack it is. But usually, like most percent of the time, it lasts about 20 minutes. Because, you know, it's something with the brain, how it works, and then it goes up, and then how long it takes to get down with all the drugs in your body. Well, not drugs, but things you have naturally in your body and in your mind that makes you feel those kind of things. So yeah, scientifically, usually it only lasts for 20 minutes, and within those 20 minutes you can do all these things I will explain to you now. So the first many things I'm going to say is for both if you're far away or close to the person. I will say when there's something that you can only do if you're with the person or if you're far away from the person, but if I don't say anything about it, like, then the things I say is like for everything. Then you can either do it in person or do it over text. So I will mention when there's something you cannot do from far away, but you know, you should be able to figure it out yourself, I guess. So the first thing I would suggest is to watch the video I made where I react to the schizophrenic simulator, because, or just watch the simulator itself, because it's very, very good to know what the person is going through. And you cannot know it 100%, of course. The video is just, you know, the closest to give you an idea to what the person is going through, but I still think you should give it a shot, because it does give a very good insight into what the person is going through and what's happening in their head. So I would suggest that's the first thing you should do. I will leave it in the description down below. And you should obviously not do that while that person is having an attack of some sort. You should do this like now or beforehand, before anything happens, so you are prepared. The first thing you need to do is ask them what triggered them. It's not always that something has triggered it. Sometimes I can get like these panic attacks things. I call them panic attacks from now on, alright? There are so many words. It's also called like psychotic episodes, anxiety attacks. I'm calling them panic attacks for now. Personally, when I get panic attacks, sometimes it is something that has triggered it. Either I got scared, or I got yelled at on the street, something like that. Or I started thinking about something that made me uncomfortable. But sometimes it can just come out of nowhere. Sometimes I can just sit and have a good time, and then all of a sudden I can get one of these panic attacks. So really try and ask the person, like, did something trigger it? What happened? What exactly did you do at the moment it happened? If nothing triggered it, you can't really do much there. But if they say, yeah, something happened, like, ask them to explain in detail what happened, what exactly it was that made it trigger. And I know a lot of people in these, you know, when you have a panic attack, it can be very difficult to explain it. And that's why you need to keep, like, try and remember, try and push yourself to remember and explain it, because that will make the mind work in a different way, make it focus on, you know, details instead of focusing on the panic attack. So it is difficult, and you will maybe sit for a little while before they can actually remember exactly what triggered it, but it will be worth it, because it's kind of a distraction of the mind. So that's really important. And again, if nothing triggered it, there's not much you can do on this point. But you know, you can watch the rest of the video and find out what else you can do. The next thing you can do, this is mostly for if it's schizophrenic people, is ask them exactly what's happening. Ask them what they're seeing, what they're hearing, because usually when schizophrenic people have this, they're hallucinating. I am hallucinating when I have these. I see things, I hear things that aren't there. So what you can do is ask them, like, what exactly do you see? Where do you see it? What do you hear? And again, in detail, make them explain it in detail, to kind of get the mind working, to kind of, you know, get it working. Because as I said earlier, the thing that makes a panic attack is like the drugs, as I call it. The thing in your body that makes you feel this way. I don't remember the exact word for it, but you know, like adrenaline and those kind of things that you have in your body. And they go through the brain in a way. And the more you use your brain, the more your brain is being used while having these experiences, the faster it will go through the brain. It's just like if you're eating something, and if you go work out afterwards to burn all the carbs, you know, it will burn faster and easier in your body because your body is working. But if you just eat something and lay on the couch, it will take longer for the body to process it and to burn all the carbs in the food. That's kind of the same thing. You need to have your mind working. You need to have your mind moving, to make all the things like the adrenaline and all that kind of stuff go through the brain faster and out. I hope that makes sense. I am a very sciencey kind of person. I do like science, and it's like what I base most of my things on, but I'm not that good at explaining science because I never studied it or anything. But this is what I have been told by professionals. Keep that in mind. I'm not like making up any of this. This is professional speaking through me, I guess. So yeah, that's why I need them to explain in detail what they're seeing and hearing, to get their mind working. Then this is for someone who takes medicine. I don't take medicine for my schizophrenia anymore. I used to, I don't anymore because I don't need it, but there are a lot of people who still do. So if they do that, ask them if they remember to take it. This is very important, because then you can know if it's because they forgot to take it or just because of something else. So remember to ask them if they have taken it. Then, you know, there are some people who has medicine that they can take in the moment if they have a panic attack. I do have that. I haven't taken it in quite a long time, and I don't take medicine every day, but I do have some pills that I can take if something happens. Then I can take 1 or 2 pills. They kind of work like sleeping pills because they make me very, very tired, and I usually fall asleep after taking them, which is good. but they also, you know, help relax everything in my mind and my body. So if your person or your friend, if your person has those kind of medicines or pills, make sure they take them. Any sort of sleeping pills or any sort of like anxiety medicine they can take in the moment, make sure they take that, because that will definitely help a lot. Then the next thing is something that you should not let them do. Don't let them drink alcohol, because if they start drinking alcohol, I know it can work in the moment. I've also been drinking a few times when I've been having bad days, but actually, you know, it started with me having, you know, a bottle of wine a few times whenever I had a panic attack, which is not often I get that. Then it slowly turned into me drinking a bottle of wine whenever I felt like I almost had a panic attack. And, you know, worse and worse. It can get so much worse than that. Then you start drinking when you're just a little bit sad, and then you start drinking every day, and then you're an alcoholic. And we do not want that. So it's very important that you do not let your friend or partner or family member drink while they're having these kind of episodes, because yes, it works and it's soothing, but in the end, if they keep doing this, it can like fuck everything up. So don't let them drink. The same with drugs. Just don't do drugs in general, obviously, but this is more like smoking weed, because a lot of people smoke weed nowadays. Don't let them smoke weed when they're feeling like this. Just weed in general is so fucking bad for your mental health. A lot of people who have schizophrenia has gotten it because they have been smoking weed. So yeah, it's very bad for your mental health. It can seriously fuck some things up. A lot of people get psychotic episodes just by smoking weed. So if your friend has a psychotic episode or a panic attack and they smoke weed, it will make it 100% worse. Like sometimes it may be calming, just like alcohol, but you never ever know how you will react to it. Even if you have tried it before and like, hell, it helped me in my panic attack. Like, maybe that time it did, but maybe next time it won't. Maybe next time it will make it worse. You never know how you will react to weed. It's not like alcohol where you can kind of get an idea of how you will react every time based on your previous experiences. Weed is not like that. Weed can be different from each time. So if your friend is having something like this, do not ever let them touch anything that has weed in it, because it can be very dangerous. I know it does help on anxiety and stuff. I have heard that. I'm a little bit on edge about that, to be honest. But if they have like an attack, if they have a panic attack or an episode, don't let them do it. It's super dangerous for their mental health. Just in general, even if you're not sick or anything, don't do it. I'm sorry, I'm very much against weed because of mental health stuff. Anyway, moving on. And the next thing is also kind of that. It's like, don't give them any drugs that their doctor hasn't given to them. If you yourself have some anxiety medicine, don't give it to them unless they have asked their doctor, like, hey, can I take this kind of medicine that my friend has? If they haven't asked and they haven't gotten permission from their doctor, don't give anything. I know you're just trying to help, so I'm not like super angry at people who do it, but it can be very bad because medicine works different on different people. So maybe you have something that works amazing on you when you have panic attacks, but it might not work for your friend. For example, when I started taking medicine like every day, like daily medicine, I got the medicine called Abilify, I think it's called. It's a long time ago. But that's like the medicine that most people with my diagnosis use, because it works the best for most people. But it didn't work on me. And I got so physically sick. I lost a lot of weight, which is super difficult for me. Like, I have never been able to lose weight, even if I've been like trying to lose weight. But for those couple of weeks where I took that medicine, I lost a little bit of weight at least. And the only reason for that is because I didn't eat anything almost. I got so sick, like so nauseous. I always had that like, ugh, like almost throwing up kind of feeling. So yeah, that's just an example of how not all medicine works on all people. So don't give them anything. This is something maybe you should do before they have a panic attack. Like, if you have something that works great on you, give the name of that medicine to a friend, and then they can call their doctor and ask, hey, can I take this if I someday have an attack? and then you will have your answer there. But don't give them anything unless their doctor has said it's okay. And also, don't let them self-harm. Then the next thing is tying in with these other things. If they do drink alcohol or if they do smoke weed, you know, it's easy to prevent if you're with them. But if you're long distance, you can tell your friend not to drink or self-harm or smoke weed, but you cannot really control if they do it. So if they actually do it, and if they tell you that I accidentally got piss drunk, or cut myself or something, like, don't get mad at them. That's very important. Like, I know that you probably would get mad if something like that happened, even after you told them not to do it, but don't get mad, because that will just break their trust. It will just do so that they will never contact you again if they have a problem like this, and it will just make them feel worse and shittier about themselves, and then make the panic attack worse, or the psychotic episode worse. So if this happens, if they accidentally do one of these things, don't get angry, alright? Please don't get mad at them, even if that's what you feel on the inside. Just be like, alright, it wasn't good that you did it, but let's just move on from here and try and help you get better. Don't get angry. That's very, very important. Then the next thing is talk to them. Tell them about your day, tell them about your favorite video game you're playing right now, or a movie you watched the other day, something. Talk to them in detail about something that is not anything to do with this panic attack, or panic attacks in general. Talk to them, just to explain to them, hey, today I woke up at 9 and then I brushed my teeth like 5 minutes later, but then I had to eat breakfast and then I had to wait with eating breakfast because I brushed my teeth and I was stupid. Stuff like that. Just explain your day in detail, explain a game or a movie or a comic book or a book or something. Just explain to them something in detail, even though how ridiculous it may seem, like explaining the entire plot line of a movie that you watched the other day. That seems ridiculous, but it will work, because again, that's like a distraction for the brain, and they might not listen to all of it, because it is difficult to listen and concentrate when you're in that state. But then they will be reminded, like, hey, there's something over here talking, I have to focus on that. So even though they may not hear everything or concentrate on everything, it does help, and it's again a thing that makes the brain work and move around in there. And a distraction of all the bad things that's happening right now. And the next thing is have them tell you about their day or about a movie they watched. This is definitely something you should do in the end, not right away, because if you do it in the beginning, they will just be fucked up in the head. But if you do it towards the end, where they are trying, you know, starting to calm down a little bit, it does help, you know, get all the way to the bottom. Calming all the way down, all the way to the bottom. That can also sound negative, you know what I mean? So have them, you know, explain their day, or a movie that they watched the other day, or a book they read. Have them explain something in detail, again to distract. And you know, when you're talking, your mind works in a different way than when you're listening, so that's also a very good thing to do. But remember, don't do it like within the first 5 minutes. Then the last thing I will share with you is something that you can do only when you're with the person. You can sadly not do this when you're far away, but all the other things I said you can do both when you're with the person and not with the person. But the last thing here is only when you're with them. Just make sure they're physically comfortable. Wrap a blanket around them, make them lie in the bed or sit in the couch or a comfy chair. A really good thing is to cuddle them if it's something you do. Personally, I don't cuddle with my friends. I know a lot of people do. Like, I give my friends a hug when I see them and when I leave again, but we never cuddle. So if I was with my friend when this happened, like a panic attack happened, I wouldn't want them to cuddle me, because that will just make it weirder and worse for me. But if I was with my boyfriend, I would need him to cuddle me. I need my boyfriend to cuddle me, like, no matter how I'm feeling, to be honest. But especially if I'm having like a panic attack or something. Like, cuddles is one of the best things if I'm with him. So make sure that before doing this, like, ask your friend, hey, if you have a panic attack, would it be weird if I cuddled you? Would you be comfortable with that? Because it is very different from person to person. Like, usually if it's your boyfriend or girlfriend, it's natural to cuddle with them when they're feeling like this. But if you have a friend where you're a little bit unsure if you can cuddle them or not, because there are friends out there who cuddle all the time, and for those people it may not be weird, but for me and my friends it would be a little bit weird. So just, if you're not their partner or anyone who usually cuddle with them, maybe ask them, unless you are the kind of friends who cuddle all the time. But if you are the cuddly kind of people, then cuddling is definitely something that will help, because that's, you know, physical contact. Cuddling has been proven to help many things, even when you're not having like a panic attack. It reduces stress and everything like that. So that is definitely a good thing to do. But just make sure that your friend is comfortable with it, otherwise it can actually make it kind of worse and just more uncomfortable. Another thing you can do to make sure they're physically comfortable is light some scented candles or some incense sticks, if they're into that, of course, and make sure it's a scent they like. And if you have any, it's not like you have to go down to the store to buy something, not at all. It's just if you have some scented candles at home and you know, hey, I have a vanilla candle here and my friend loves vanilla scent, light that. It's a very small thing, it doesn't help a lot, but it does help some, because, you know, smells can be very nostalgic, I guess you can call them. There are a few scents, like when I smell them, I think of a certain place or a certain person, something like that. So maybe make sure that you light a scent, either a candle or incense. For example, if you are their girlfriend or boyfriend and you have a perfume or a cologne that they really love, maybe put that on and cuddle them, because that scent will remind them of you and you're cuddling them and everything. And if your friend, as I said, light a candle with a scent you know that they like, and you know, remind them of something amazing. Personally for me, I love the smell of just incense sticks in general. Especially rose, because that reminds me of when I was 16 years old and I was in this amazing school, and where I actually met my best friend who gave me the idea for this video. So just, that would be like the thing for me. If I have a panic attack and I'm with someone, I want them to light some incense, because that would help me get in a better place, because it will bring me back to that school year. So scents in general can be very, very good in these kind of situations. And then also with lighting is also very important. Just make sure that the light is not too dark or too light. If it's too dark, obviously it can create some anxiety, because a lot of people just generally have, like, darkness is very uncomfortable, especially if you have some sort of mental problems. Darkness is very scary sometimes. But also make sure it's not too light, because bright light can also be super uncomfortable when you're feeling like this. Also because a lot of people, when they have these kind of episodes, they are hypersensitive to some things, especially light. So just make sure it's kind of in the middle, maybe a little bit to the dark side, but not too dark, not like black. They have to be able to see things, they have to be able to see the entire room, but yeah, also not like super bright. Don't turn on all the lights, of course. So somewhere in between, where you feel like it's calming and, you know, nice for them. So that was actually all the things and all the advice I want to give you. Thank you to Emma, my friend, who suggested this video. It was a great idea, and I really hope you guys liked it and that you may have gotten some good ideas to what to do. If you have any questions about anything I talked about in this video, please let me know in the comments down below, or if you have any suggestions to other things you can do that I didn't mention, let me know in the comments down below and I will answer the questions and thumbs up the good advice that you give. Or if you just have a story of some sort or need to get something out and tell someone about the problems you're going through, you are more than welcome to write them in the comments below, and I will make sure to read them and give them a like and maybe a little comment as well. And as I said, the video to the schizophrenic simulation, the link for that is in the description down below, so please go check that out. It's very important that you kind of know what your friends, family or partners are going through. Press the like button if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well, and thank you for watching.